Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dawg Daze Open, round 2 back 9 coverage. We return to the MSU Wise Disc Golf course, and we start over at hole 10. Hole 10 is a par 3, 280-ish feet, maybe more 270. It is playing a little bit downhill, but just a tiny bit, so not enough to really matter, I don't think. The typical play you'll see is a right-hand backhand wide hyzer to crash here into this green. Ideally, you do want to stick in this green. There is OB all around it. There's OB Creek to the left. The mistake you'll most often see is people getting too early. Let's see what Ben does. Yep, there's the typical mistake. Hyzering just a little bit too early into the thick stuff, or going long.
But you know what? Every one of them went, or a lot of them went long.
That was Andy Hunt there. Assistant tournament director. Here's Kyle Grace. We'll see if he can make the correction. Beautiful shot.
Kyle's dialed in.
Yeah, Andy Hunt. I don't even need to commentate. Andy's over here. That was David with the. I believe that was David. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Turn my volume down. Super loud. Jeremy giving it a great run, hitting the basket from middle of nowhere with all the thick stuff. Ben trying to do the same, flexing this out there. He's got a good tap in fire from that position. Jacob Henson pitching out. I think we might have missed that shot somehow. Jeremy tapping in his par. Ben to follow.
Nice scuba again.
Here's David.
Hit somebody just walks it back.
And his birdie.
2-2.
Jacob tapping in his par. I think that was par. I think maybe my scorecards was maybe got a little bit messed up here. Kyle tapping in his birdie. Showing off a little bit for the camera there. Production values on the show have really tanked. My goodness. Onward to hole 11. Hole 11, par 3, 300 and I think this is 60 feet. OB all around the basket. OB parking lot, OB left over this ditch here. And it tapers as you get closer to the basket, so really touchy shot. Kyle up again. Throwing the same destroyer he did in round 1. Let's see if he can get this to nestle as well. This is coming in a nice spike angle.
Shot.
A little bit short of where he would like to be.
Sorry.
Him getting in front of the camera, in front of the shot. What a jerk. What else is new? David. Getting this to turn over too much. And this goes into the parking lot and unfortunately stays OB. I think if those little blocks weren't there, it might have rolled back in bounds. Jeremy Vaughan. Cranking this one out there. Absolutely beautiful. Parking it. Beautiful shot. Ben up next.
Did it tailwind the first round?
Throwing this out really wide. It held straight a little bit too long.
Shot, Ben.
So they'll have a edge of circle death putt with that OB ditch. Jacob Henson up now.
T-Rex
on a nice line too. Ended up in a pretty good spot, just on the edge of the circle, maybe just inside, but it will be a bit short of where he would like. David just pitching out from his OB. A tap in bogey. Jacob giving this a good run. Didn't go OB thankfully, but was hyzer now, just a little bit too early. Ben for his birdie look.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Just didn't give it the commitment. Hyzed it out way too early, and he did end up OB, so he'll have putt for bogey. David cashing in his birdie putt. Not the same drive as round 1, but the same Ben tapping in his bogey. David tapping in his bogey as well. Jacob for his par. And Jeremy with the absolutely beautiful drive. Well-deserved birdie. Moving on to hole 12. Hole 12 is a par 4, 713 feet. The first shot, you really just want to try and bite off as much distance as you can. OB ditch here that we're just flying over, and it does curl around all the right side of the hole. So first shot, just try and bite off as much distance, make your approach shot as easy as possible. You can pretty much just do whatever you want here. You know, lefty can just get a nice turnover. Righties can just do a basic hyzer. You could probably get a roller down over here. I don't know. Nice big open hole. A little bit of a scary putt when you get to the green, because it is downhill behind the basket from where most people are going to be putting from. Kyle Gray up first. Run that same destroyer. A little bit of a flex line out of here. And he ends up in a pretty decent spot, probably 350, 400 feet. Here's Jeremy. This guy's got all kinds of power. All kinds of power. Yeah, and any spot really that you get out on here is going to be a good spot. Ideally, you do want to be close to the OB ditch. If you throw along the OB line, if you're a righty, of course, throw a backhand over the OB line, much safer than throwing directly at the OB line towards the basket. But really, any of these drives, perfect. Got Ben up first. See, this is what I was talking about, throwing over that OB towards the basket, so you'll hyzer back in towards the safe inbounds. And, you see he hyzers it a little bit too much, so he'll have a little tester putt for his birdie. Here's David. Great shot. Didn't give this as much power as he needed to. It ended up pretty short.
Weak.
Trash. He said it best himself. Jacob's approach. Nice wide forehand. Ended up a little bit too wide, so he'll have a little bit of a tester death putt there. Jeremy.
Great shot, Jeremy.
Yeah. Fantastic shot, just like Kyle said. Here we see Ben with his death putt, and he's just pitching up. Doesn't want to play with that. It's Kyle for his birdie look. Give this a pretty soft run. He'll have a tap-in par. Here's Jacob for his birdie. All day. He must be a climber. He's got that chalk bag with him every time he puts. David chaining out for his birdie. Very unfortunate result. Jeremy with his tap-in birdie. Very well executed approach. David taking his par. Ben with his par, and Kyle with his par. Moving on to lucky hole 13. Hole 13, this is like 280 feet, par 3. We've got this nice wide open field, but oh no! Big surprise. Actually, there's a mandatory left of this oak tree. So you've got to throw something around this oak tree to the basket, and the basket's only like 20 feet past the oak tree. So you really got to have distance control for this shot, because if you go long, which is apparently easy for these people, I mean these players.
Yep.
Jeremy making the correction from round one, not overthrowing the basket by 60 feet. Henson also throwing something nice and overstable, also ending up in a great spot. Kyle Gray, I believe this is his Firebird. Going very long in the basket. He's got a 40-footer. David lined up the roller. We saw Sean do this round one to a great result. And I had trouble following this one, but it ended up very, very, very long. You can probably see it there on the left, coming to the middle frame. Super long. Not the best result. Ben? And this is great. Like hyzering right at the tree. Absolutely beautiful. Nice little friendly roll towards the basket.
Stable enough, you could land your roller like.
Here's David. Absolutely miles away from the basket. Great up and down. Jeremy just outside the circle. And he is just a surgeon. Kyle for his birdie look. Giving it too much height. Hitting the band, unfortunately. Jacob Henson for his birdie. Cashing that one in. Ben with this amazing drive for his birdie. All day, every day. Just got David and Kyle to clean up their cars. Move on to hole 14. Trash. Yeah. Kyle obviously very disappointed in himself. Very hard on himself. Hole 14, par 3, 200 and something feet. I'm sure the graphic will show us. This is another pretty open hole. We do have this OB ditch here. The rocks and the water are all OB. So whatever you do, don't throw it super short, like we saw in round one. Jeremy Vaughan up first. Up for the wide backhand hyzer. And he parked it. The train painting call you hear there. Jacob Henson. A little bit too wide, and this grass is super sticky, so it didn't get the ground play I think he expected it to get. Ben up now. Also throwing the wide backhand hyzer.
Nice.
And he's got a tap-in birdie there. Kyle opting for the forehand as well. Nice and straight, nice overstable disc.
Yeah.
Ending up in a good spot, about 15 feet. David opted for a pretty straight, overstable disc here. And he's got a great shot as well.
I made it.
Jacob Henson. Edge of circle one, just inside the circle, looks like. Still in a bit too low, too far to the left. Jeremy Vaughan. And as you can hear, round two, the wind picked up a lot. Jeremy tapped in his birdie. And those little taps you hear, that's the rain. So we did have a little bit of wetness to deal with here. Kyle cashing in his birdie putt. Moving on, hole 15. I think this is hole 15. Yeah, I think this is hole 15. Anyway, par 3, 260-ish feet. The drone is going to show us the nice straight line. If you've got the disc for that, just go straight at the basket. But this is a pretty open hole for all types of plays. Here we see the forehand, throw nice and wide. We've got pretty sparse trees on both sides.
It's a straight gap.
No.
So you can throw backhand hyzer around the trees, left and front, forehand around the trees. And this is a pretty fast speed as you see this huge stick bend. So, pretty fun hole. Yeah, big mistake that you'll probably see most often is taking these early trees. All day. This man is amazing. This size unit a bit too much. Kyle, maybe 15 feet. Hit the band. And I wish I could miss putts like that and still be leading the tournament. David, just a bit too far to the right. Thankfully not kicking too far away. Jake for his birdie. Pretty high, but no harm, no foul. Scorecard doesn't have pictures. Big
Random disc golf
is par. Kyle and David to follow. Well, I say that, Kyle did just miss that putt, so I guess even these 15 footers aren't a gimme. Moving on to hole 16. Par 3, 630 feet, I think this one is. The first shot's all about placement. You don't want to just crush it because there is the OB ditch and OB walking path past these trees here. So ideally, you'll land in the center frame here, that gray dead grass there. Or ideally even further up to the left if you throw something really overstable. And then your second shot is going to be the approach from probably about 200, maybe 250 feet to this basket. I don't believe that drainage ditch there is OB. I think it's just casual. I could be wrong. I don't call anybody falling in there. So Jeremy Vaughan up first. Placement shot, Henson. See, he's only about 15 feet up from where Jeremy is. And up next. Getting much more left than they did. He'll end up in a pretty decent spot. Kyle going to do the same. Same mistake he made in round 1, throwing something too straight. So he'll have a 40 or so footer. Jake Henson followed. And this was a pretty decent shot. This is up on the tree line. So maybe 25 feet from the basket. Kyle, unfortunately, getting caught up in one of these Christmas trees. Short arming this one terribly. He ends up only about 100 feet up. Very unfortunate result. Ben just a little bit further, but way more open. Throws a decent shot here. This will be, I think, 15 feet. We'll see in just a moment. David ending up behind one of these trees too, trying to throw something
Down.
around the trees, but he just threw it too high, and he'll heiser back really early in the trees. There he's just slightly left to Kyle. Kyle's up shot.
Good?
Yeah. As you hear from his card, they're telling him it was a good shot. David throwing it, not really giving this enough distance. Getting caught up on those trees, he'll have a pretty tough putt. Here's Jeremy. Just outside the circle. Cash that one in.
Can't miss now.
Can't miss that year. Absolutely charging forward. David giving this a good run to the basket. He'll have a bogey, unfortunately. Jacob from maybe 20 feet. Very unexpected result here. He's been so on with his putts. Card to par. And with only 2 more holes to go, there's not a lot of chance of catching up to Kyle. Say tap it in. Obviously, his putts are a little bit suspect. David for his bogey. Moving on to hole 17. I believe this is a 280-foot shot, but there is this hill in between you and the basket, so you do have to throw a little bit harder than that. Not too much. Maybe the hole plays about 15 feet longer. But it does slope downhill slightly. So if you go with a high-speed disc, you do have the risk of flaring past the basket. You've got these crepe myrtles here that are guarding the left side. So if you get past them, you've got some obstruction. But you know, save it. Jeremy Vaughan is nice and wide. Playing for the skip. I think he got a pretty decent result there. Maybe a little bit long. Probably about 25 feet, but obviously that's in his range. Spin up. Much straighter at him. Hydrating out a bit early though. I think he gets caught in one of those crepe myrtles. So we'll see what he's got. Jacob Henson throws something a little too overstable. Also getting caught up in these crepe myrtles. Right? Throwing something pretty straight at him. Probably a little bit skip just like Jeremy, and again in a decent spot as well. And finally we've got David. Throws something that's too overstable, too high up, and he'll hyzer up really early. Here he's got a circle 2 putt at the basket. Giving a great run at it. Hitting metal, but not sticking. Jacob Henson for his birdie look. And just didn't give it the height. Here's Jeremy. 25 or so feet. Very unexpected result. Hitting chains, but not sticking. He's been such a deadly assassin from that range this whole tournament. Ben shooting really, throwing really low, hitting the basket on this birdie putt. Jacob cleaning up his par. Ben also cleaning up his par from just off the frame. I was not expecting that, so I didn't have him, unfortunately. Kyle tapping in his birdie with this great drive. 311 foot hole. See? Graphic note. David cleaning up his par. Jeremy to fall. I don't know if the rain was still in play here, but it was super, super hot and sunny, so Jeremy with the umbrella to protect from the sun. Moving on to hole 18, the final hole. Par 3, 398 feet, I believe is the distance. Pretty wide open. The lefties are going to hate it because you've got all the trees on the left side, so they got to either get something to turn it over or they got to throw the forehand. Righties love it because they just throw these bombs. Let's see how our card attacks it. Here's Kyle, I believe with his destroyer. Throwing this one pretty high. I think this was a bit off of the line that he would prefer. He ends up in a pretty okay spot, probably 20 feet. There's Jeremy. Let's see if he can not overthrow the basket like he did round one. Throwing a nice high hyzer, and he out through the basket, of course. I wish I had that kind of power where I just said, oh, whoops, I overthrew this 400-foot shot. Here's Ben. Throwing something pretty high, pretty wide. Maybe up a little bit short, but it's got like a 20-footer. Jacob Henson throwing the line. Great result. Not getting the play off the ground that you'd like, so he does end up a little bit short. If the grass was shorter and drier, probably would have skipped a lot more. Let's see what David can do. Getting way too much turn out of this one. I don't know why I zoomed in over here and not at where the disc was, but he ended up way further to the right. So he'll have a very tough look for the birdie, so he basically just going to pitch up. See him getting up and down. I don't know who that was. They just picked the disc up, so I don't know who it was. There's Jeremy giving a bid, hitting the basket, and that's just too low. Here's a tester for Kyle Gray. Oh. You'd love to end the round with the birdie. Jacob for birdie. Cashing that one in. Solid second place finish. David for his par. Jeremy tapping his par. That must have been Ben that just picked his disc up.
Man.
Cleaning up his par.
Yeah, man.
Your Dawg Daze Open champion, Kyle Gray. Shooting a 17 down overall tournament, 11 down first round, and then only 6 down second round, so that win came into play. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this tournament, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Peace out.